the alien who cleaned stars in the deep corners of the galaxy, far from the rich planets and powerful empires. There was a small mining station called Rexo 9. It floated near a dying star, where the light was dim and hope was even dimmer. And in that cold place lived an alien widow named Sarai. She was a Zarnith, a species that once ruled parts of the galaxy, known for their beauty and intelligence. But now, people only remembered the war, the betrayal, the fall. No one hired Zarnith anymore. And no one helped widows. Sarai lived in an old storage unit. It was cold, dark, and barely had air. She worked by cleaning ships that landed on the station. She used a small bucket and a broken cleaning drone. Most people didn't even look at her. Some called her names. Some threw garbage on purpose, just to make her work harder. But Sarai never replied. She cleaned and kept her head down. One day, a strange ship landed at Rexo 9. It was black, old, and covered in scars from space battles. On the side, it had the name written in red paint, Iron Sparrow. The pilot was a tall human with gray eyes and a tired face. His name was Captain Rourke. He stepped off the ship, looked around the station, and noticed everyone ignoring one figure sweeping near the landing area. Sarai. He walked up to her. "You clean ships?" Sarai looked up, surprised. No one ever talked to her directly. She nodded. "Yes, I do. Cheap price." Rourke smiled slightly. "Not cheap enough. You'll work for me. Full time. Food, shelter, credits. But you clean the whole ship, inside and out." Sarai blinked. Was he serious? "Yes," she said quietly. "I'll do it." Life on the Iron Sparrow was different. The ship was old, but full of secrets. Doors opened with strange codes. The engine room had machines she had never seen before. Some rooms were always locked. One hallway even had burn marks, like something exploded there. Captain Rourke didn't talk much, but he always noticed things. "You learn fast," he told her one day as she repaired a cleaning bot. "Where'd you learn mechanics?" "My mate," she said softly. "He was an engineer, long ago." There was silence. Then he nodded. "Good. You'll need those skills here." That night, as Sarai cleaned the main deck, she heard strange voices from behind one locked door. Mechanical, like a robot, but laughing. And something else her name. She froze. Had she imagined it? The next day, the door was gone. Just smooth wall. No sign it was ever there. She asked Rourke about it. He said, drinking his strange green tea. "No such door. Maybe you were tired." But his eyes said something else. Days passed. Sarai got better at her work. The ship seemed to accept her. Lights flickered less when she walked past. Machines responded faster. One day, the ship entered an asteroid field. Something went wrong. The navigation system failed. The ship shook. A panel exploded. Sparks flew. Rourke shouted, "Sarai, get to the core room, reset the power." She didn't even hesitate. She ran. She used every skill her mate had taught her. She fixed the system in time, got the ship calmed. Later, Rourke looked at her with new eyes. "You're more than just a cleaner." Sarai didn't know what to say, but everything changed when the message arrived. It was a short signal. Encrypted, hidden deep in the ship's system. Rourke unlocked it, watched it alone, then called Sarai. "What do you know about the Veil Project?" he asked. She froze. That name, it was secret. Ancient. Something her people built and destroyed. "Nothing," she said, but her voice shook. He handed her a small crystal. It glowed faintly. She felt it pulse in her hand. It recognized her. "It's Zarnith tech," he said, "and it only responds to you." She stared at the crystal. For the first time in years, her past returned like a ghost. And for the first time, someone needed her. Why me? She whispered. Rourke stood, his face serious, because no one else can stop what's coming. Asterisk, work is not always work. Saray had cleaned a lot of ships in her life. Cargo freighters, smuggler shuttles, even a prison transport once. But Iron Sparrow was different. She could feel it, not just in the way its floors hummed under her feet, or how its walls sometimes whispered back, but in how the ship watched her, like it was alive, like it was waiting. Captain Rourke was quiet these days. He stared at star maps more than he talked, always adjusting routes, always muttering things like, "They're moving faster than expected, and we're running out of time." Sarai tried to focus on her work, cleaning the bridge, scrubbing the engine room, repairing the leaky oxygen pipes, but there was one place she was told never to go. Deck 7. No need to clean there. Rourke had said. That part's sealed off. Of course, that made her curious. One evening, while cleaning near the crew quarters, she saw it. A hatch to deck 7. Unlocked. Slightly open and humming. Not like a machine hum, more like singing. A low, strange melody that made her bones feel lighter and her skin tingle. She hesitated, then stepped in. The hallway was dark, cold. The air tasted metallic. The lights flickered once, then died completely. She used a small torch. As she walked deeper, she saw markings on the wall's ancient glyphs. Her people's language. But not just any language. These were forbidden symbols, used only for sacred machines. Weapons, secrets. Suddenly, her torch blinked and died. The melody returned. Only now, it was a voice. Saray of the Ash Flame. You survived. She spun around. No one there. The voice came again. You should not be here. But he brought you. That changes everything. Lights flashed. Alarms blared. Intruder alert. Deck 7 breach. Doors slammed behind her. The hatch locked. The floor trembled. Footsteps. Heavy. Mechanical. Getting closer, she ran down the hall into a side room. Inside, floating in the center, was a Zarnath core, a glowing sphere used to store consciousness. It reacted to her presence, lighting up like a sunrise. She touched it. Memories flooded in. Explosions, screams, ships burning in the void. A machine, the Veil engine rising from black metal and ancient bones. And one name echoed through it all. Project Lazar 9. Before she could process anything, Rourke's voice crackled through the intercom. Saray, don't panic. Stay where you are. I'm coming. 10 minutes later, the hatch opened. Rourke entered with a gun in one hand and a worried look on his face. You weren't supposed to find this yet, he said. Saray pointed at the floating core. This is Zarnath tech. Weapon tech. Rourke nodded. That's why I hired you. I didn't need a cleaner. I needed a key. They sat in the mess hall later that night. The ship had gone quiet, like it was watching their conversation. Rourke explained everything. There's a weapon buried inside this galaxy, built by your people during the last war. It was shut down, but not destroyed. We believe someone is trying to restart it. Who? Saray asked. Rourke looked tired. The Coalition says it's pirates. I think it's someone worse. Someone with inside help. And me? She asked. You're the only living person who can activate or stop it. Silence filled the room. Then Rourke reached into his coat and pulled out a small cube. It projected a hologram, an image of a man with red eyes and silver armor. Saray gasped. My husband's brother, she said. Veil. Rourke nodded. He's alive. And he's building something on a hidden moon in Sector 12. But he died, Saray whispered. Everyone thought so, Rourke said. But death doesn't mean much anymore. Suddenly, the ship shuddered. Alarms went off again. Unidentified ship approaching, said the AI voice. Weapons locked. Rourke jumped up. Battle stations. Sarai, get to the armory. If you're with me, it's time to fight. Sarai stood still for a moment. She looked down at her hands, once used for cleaning, now possibly meant for war. She nodded. I'm with you. Asterisk, the secret behind the door. There are some doors in the universe that were never meant to be opened. Sarai had opened one. And now, the universe was looking back. The ship shook again. Outside, a sleek black fighter circled the Iron Sparrow, scanning for weaknesses. Inside, Sarai followed Rourke through narrow passageways, deeper into the ship's core, somewhere she'd never been. Who is it? She asked, breathless. Someone looking for you, Rourke said grimly. And probably not to offer you cookies. He pressed his palm against a panel. The wall slid open and revealed a weapons bay. But it wasn't normal. Inside were Zarnath weapons. Ancient, forgotten, banned by every major galactic law. Sarai stepped back instinctively. These shouldn't exist, she whispered. They were destroyed during the peace accords. Rourke looked at her. You sure about that? They barely had time to react. The ship's AI voice crackled. Enemy boarding party detected. Docking clamps engaged. Hull breach in 3, 2. Boom. Metal screamed. Air rushed. The power flickered. And then they arrived. 3 figures stepped onto the Iron Sparrow like they owned it. Not pirates. Not bounty hunters. Enforcers. Silent, armored, genetically enhanced soldiers from the old war. Thought to be extinct. Sarai hid behind a crate as Rourke opened fire. The hallway exploded in gunfire and sparks. She grabbed one of the strange weapons, a compact Zarnath energy blaster, and something in it clicked. It glowed. Warm. Alive. It accepted her. One of the enforcers noticed. She's the target, he shouted in a robotic voice. Capture priority Alpha. Do not kill. But Sarai wasn't running. Not this time. She fired. Pure energy hit the enforcer in the chest. His armor melted like ice under a flame. For a moment, everyone stopped. Even Rourke looked at her differently. You sure you were just a cleaner? He said. She didn't answer. Because something else had awakened inside her. After the attackers were pushed back and the hole sealed, Sarai sat alone in the med bay, staring at her reflection. Her eyes, they were glowing faintly. Her pulse was faster. The blaster she had used was now bonded to her DNA. Rourke entered, his arm wrapped in bandages. There's something you need to see, he said. They returned to Deck 7, past the floating core, past the Forbidden's tech dot to a small sealed chamber. No door. Just a wall of black glass. Rourke handed her a small pendant. Put it on, and touch the wall. She did. The wall vanished. Inside was a stasis pod. And inside the pod was her A. Second say RI. Eyes closed, floating, silent. What is this? She whispered. Rourke sighed. A clone. Backup. Insurance. Created by your husband's brother before he vanished. She was supposed to be activated if something happened to the real you. But I'm alive, Sarai said. Exactly. So why is she still here? Suddenly, the core behind them pulsed. A voice filled the room. 2 paths diverged. One burned, one betrayed. But only one can stop what's coming. Sarai turned to Rourke. Tell me everything. No more lies. And he did, years ago, during the Zarnath Human War. Vale, her brother-in-law, discovered an ancient machine buried beneath the moon of Draven. A machine that could bend reality. The Vale engine. It could simulate futures, rewrite memories, even alter time. For a price, but it was unstable. Vale tried to control it, failed, and vanished. Only Sarai held the genetic code to shut it down, or activate it. which is why she was kept hidden, forgotten, erased from records. Until now, the ship AI suddenly interrupted. Message from unidentified source. Priority 1. Visuals attached. A hologram flickered to life. VAEL. Live. Older. Scarred. With a metallic eye and a voice like thunder. Dear sister, he said, staring directly at Sarai. I know you're listening. I never wanted to hurt you, but I need your help. Sarai clenched her fists. You destroyed everything, she muttered. Soon, the hologram continued, the veil will open. And when it does, we can rebuild the galaxy. Together, as it was meant to be. He smiled. If not, well, I have other plans. The message ended. Silence returned. Sarai turned to Rourke. We go to Draven. He nodded. Then suit up. Because, from now on, you're not just a cleaner. She looked at the weapon still in her hand. No, she said. I'm a storm. Training the Widow. The human ship Iron Sparrow had survived ambushes, attacks, and things that had no name. But now, it had to survive Sarai's training montage. And that might be the most dangerous thing yet. Sarai stood in the lower deck training bay. Steel walls, echoing silence, and a combat dummy that had seen better centuries. She held the bonded Zarnith blaster in one hand. In the other, a practice blade humming with energy. Again, Rourke barked. She charged, stumbled, and nearly tripped over her own tail. Seriously? Said the ship's AI, Pixie. I've seen slugs move faster than that, and they don't even have legs. Focus, Rourke said. I am focused, Sarai growled, panting. Then stop thinking like a cleaner, he snapped. You're not one anymore. You're the last living key to shut down a galaxy-killing weapon. Start acting like it. The next few days were brutal. Combat, tactics, languages, ancient Zarnith command codes, weapon calibration drills so intense, even the blaster complained. At night, she didn't sleep. She dreamed of her husband, of Vale, of a dark machine whispering her name through time. She told Rourke one morning, I don't think I was just meant to stop the Vale engine. He looked at her, eyes sharp. What do you mean? I think I'm part of it. In between drills, she found time to talk to Pixie, the AI who controlled the ship, brewed decent tea, and apparently watched 900 years worth of human drama shows. You're bonded to the core, Pixie said during a systems check. I ran a deep scan. That weapon, the Vale engine, it's alive. And I think it knows who you are. Alive? Yeah. And sassy too. Just like me, only with more apocalyptic vibes. Pixie flickered, then projected a hidden file on a nearby screen. Here's the kicker. The engine is waking up. Someone's been feeding it data. Remote links. Memory fragments. From your past. Sarai stared at the images. Her husband. VAEL. Her own face. Over and over again. Layered like puzzle pieces. Then, she saw something impossible. A recording. From before the Zarnith human war. A secret council. Sarai speaking. Leading. No. This can't be real, she whispered. Pixie looked nervous. Hate to break it too. You, Starlight, but I think you've got more history than even you remember. Later, in the strategy room, Rourke laid out a plan. We've tracked Vale to a moon base near the collapsed star in Sector 12. Cloaked, guarded by Blacklight Syndicate mercs. We'll need stealth, firepower, and something no one expects. He looked at Sarai, a Zarnith leading the charge. She frowned. What if I freeze? What if I lose control? You've already been through hell, he said. Now set it on fire. Just as they were about to leave, Iron Sparrow intercepted a message. Encrypted, marked urgent. Pixie decrypted it in seconds, It was a video. A child crying. Zarnith features. And behind her veil, she looks like you, he said, staring into the camera. She is you, or a version of you. Sarai's heart cracked. You think this is about war? Veil continued. It's about rebirth. I will fix what we destroyed. I will restore our kind. He smiled. And if you won't join me, I'll make sure your child does. The message ended. The room fell silent. Rourke looked at her. We leave in 12 hours. If you want to back out, I'm not backing out, she said. She holstered her blaster. I'm going to get my daughter. Asterisk ghosts from her past. The galaxy didn't remember Sarai, but her past never forgot her. The Iron Sparrow dropped out of warp above the dead star in Sector 12. The space around them was a graveyard twisted wrecks of old ships floating. Like skeletons, some still leaked air. Others looked fresh. Too fresh. Rourke studied the scanner. This doesn't feel right. Pixie's voice crackled. It's a trap. The kind with glitter and screaming. Sarai stepped forward, jaw clenched. Let them try. I'm not afraid anymore. They approached the moonbase in stealth mode. No lights. No sound, but Sarai's heart pounding like a war drum. Her daughter, alive, taken by Veil, and somehow grown. Sarai had no memory of giving birth, but the girl's face haunted her. Could Veil have used her DNA? Had he cloned her? Was this child a memory or a lie? They landed in a crater near the hidden base. Masked by the shadow of the moon's jagged mountains, they moved through broken paths and silent metal ruins. Old Zarnith structures lay half-buried under dust. Sarai stopped beside a wall covered in symbols. Her name, carved in ancient glyphs. Twice, once as Sarai, daughter of Ash, and once as Sarai, the betrayer. Her hands trembled. What did I do? She whispered. They entered the facility, and that's when the lights snapped on. Welcome back, sister, came Veil's voice, smooth as poison. He stepped from the shadows, tall and regal in armor of black and gold. His red eyes sparkled with something worse than madness. Vision. Behind him stood soldiers, genetically modified hybrids. Part Zarnith, part machine. All loyal. And in the middle, a small girl with silver skin and glowing violet eyes. She looked at Sarai and smiled. Hi, Mama, she said. Sarai froze. Rourke reached for his weapon. Don't, Veil said, lifting a hand. If you fire, the child dies. Sarai stepped forward. What is this, Veil? A gift, he said. A second chance. The Council erased your memories, hid your true identity, but I remembered. I saved a piece of you, your DNA, your thoughts, even your regrets. And I built something better. The child tilted her head. He says I'm perfect. Are you perfect too, Mama? Sarai's eyes welled up. You don't know me, but I feel you, the child whispered. In my heart, like a song. Veil moved closer. Join me. We can activate the Veil engine together. Bring order. End chaos. Our kind will rise again. And if I refuse? She asked. He shrugged. Then the child becomes the weapon instead of the key. Pixie's voice echoed in Sarai's earpiece. We've got 10 seconds before this place goes full death trap. Rourke's planting charges. I suggest not dying. Sarai looked at this child. Then at Vael. And she remembered something. A flash. A council chamber. Her standing tall, refusing the weapon. Saying no to power. She wasn't the Betray. She was the one who tried to stop it all. Sarai raised her hand. You want my choice, Veil? He smirked. Yes, she grinned. Catch. She tossed a small glowing orb memory crystal. Veil caught it instinctively, dotted. Exploded in light. Asterisk images. Truth. The real history flooded the room. Sarai's rebellion. Veil's betrayal. The creation of the Veil engine to rewrite time. And his obsession with fixing reality. The child gasped. He lied. Chaos broke loose. Rourke burst in, guns blazing. Pixie activated smoke drones. Sarai grabbed the child and ran. Veil screamed, his voice distorted by fury and shame. You could have been a god. Sarai turned back one last time. I'd rather be a mother. They escaped just before the charges blew. The facility collapsed. Into fire and silence. Back aboard the Iron Sparrow, Sarai held the child close. Do I have a name? The girl asked. Yes, Sarai said softly. You do now. Asterisk, the last war begins. The galaxy didn't know it was already at war, because wars don't start with fleets, they start with choices. And Sarai had just made one. Asterisk, back aboard the Iron Sparrow, silence filled the air like smoke. The child who Sarai now called Lyra slept quietly in the medbay. But deep scans showed something wrong. Her DNA was unstable. Her neural activity was off the charts. The Zarnith code within her wasn't just activating. It was evolving. Rourke stared at the monitor. She's not just a child, he said. She's a trigger. Veil built her to be a living activation key for the Veil engine. And I stole her, Sarai replied. Rourke raised an eyebrow. No, you saved her. Now we figure out what that means. Pixie chimed in, unusually quiet for once. There's something you both need to see. The screen flickered. A live satellite feed from a system near the neutral zone. Once a quiet farming colony. Now? Gone. Erased. No craters. No debris. Just emptiness. Like someone had selected the entire system. And hit delete. Rourke paled. That's what the Veil engine can do? That's not a weapon. That's a rewrite. Pixie whispered. It wasn't fired from the moon base. This came from somewhere else. Sarai stared into the void on screen. Veil already moved it. They made a plan. Sarai would take Lyra to an ancient Zarnith temple on the planet Nira, hoping to find answers and maybe a way to stabilize the girl's DNA. Rourke and Pixie would track Veil's signal trail, hoping to find the new location of the Veil engine. Split up. Maximum risk. Minimal sleep. Standard galactic chaos protocol. As Sarai prepared to leave, Rourke pulled her aside. There's something I haven't told you, he said. About your past. About the war. Her eyes narrowed. Now's the time. I didn't just fight in the war, Sarai. I worked with the Zarnith. What? I was part of the human Zarnith peace cell. We tried to stop the Veil's creation from the inside. I knew your husband. I knew you. Before the Council erased your memory. You knew me? I didn't tell you because I thought it would break you. Sarai stepped back. Her voice ice cold. No, it made me stronger. Meanwhile, on Nira, the temple welcomed Sarai like an old friend. The stone doors opened at her touch. Glyphs glowed under her feet. And in the center, a strange tree of crystal rooted in time and memory. Lyra stepped near it. The tree reacted. Lights danced. Time slowed. Sarai saw flickers of her own memories, playing through the branches like holograms. But then, something broke through. A figure. Glitching. Watching. It wasn't Vael. It was her. Another Sarai. Older, harder, cold. And she spoke. If you activate the Veil, you become me. Back on the Iron Sparrow, Rourke tracked Veil's trail to a deep space location near the collapsed dimension known as the Hollow Fold. There, he found more than signals. He found a fleet, massive, silent, hidden, and carrying something. Enormous, the Veil engine, now rebuilt into a mobile fortress. Pixie whispered, "He's ready. The last war begins now." Saray returned with Lyra. "Change. She said nothing. But her eyes, her energy had shifted. She'd seen something in that temple. Something terrifying. "What did you learn?" Rourke asked. She didn't answer. She only said, "We go to the fold." They prepared for battle. Allies rallied. Former enemies answered Sarai's call. Azarnith. Survivor Squad. A rogue AI battalion. Even a few smugglers with a grudge against Vale and a love for explosions. The Iron. Sparrow led the charge. As the fleet entered the hollow fold. Pixie played a recording, Sarai's voice from long ago. This isn't about saving one species, or even one future. It's about not giving up on what's real. Rourke smiled. That version of you was scary. Saray checked her weapon. This version's worse. Just before the assault, Lyra pulled Sarai aside. "I heard the tree," she whispered. "I saw your future. And if you kill Vale, you won't survive." Sarai knelt, brushing a hand against the child's cheek. "If I don't, no one will." Asterisk. Hope is a dangerous weapon. The galaxy stood on the edge of silence. Not peace. Silence. The kind that comes after the end. The fleet hovered outside the hollow, fold-twisted space where physics turned sideways and nightmares whispered through radiostatic. And in the heart of it floated the Vale engine. No longer a hidden relic. Now, a monstrous living fortress, built from dead ships, cursed metal, and the shattered remains of forgotten wars. Inside stood Vael. And he was waiting. Sarai led the charge aboard the Iron Sparrow, with Rourke on her. Right, Lyra protected in a containment pod behind them, and an army of rebels, misfits, and ancient AI ghosts at her back. As they approached, the Vale spoke. Not in words. In feelings. Fear, regret, fury, possibility. Pixie tried to translate it. "It's offering choices," she said, voice shaken. 1,000 different endings, all at once. Saray narrowed her eyes. "Then let's write just one." They broke through enemy defenses. Explosions lit the fold like dying stars. Rourke led a boarding team into the fortress, while Saray headed for the core chamber, the place she was always meant to reach. Along the way, time bent. She saw visions. Her husband alive, smiling. A galaxy where she never lost her people. A reality where she raised Lyra in peace. A future where she joined Vale and ruled. Each vision whispered, "Take me, choose me, live here." But she kept walking. She wasn't here to dream. She was here to stop them. At the core, Vale stood before the engine, his hands inside its control stream. It pulsed around him like a heartbeat made of light and shadow. "You're too late," he said calmly. "It's already rewriting. We can fix everything." "No," Sarah replied. "You mean control everything." He turned. His armor cracked. With power. His eyes glowed with the weight of rewritten timelines. And beneath it all, he still looked like family. "I loved your brother," Saray said. "And I loved you," Vale snapped. "That's why I made you better." "Why I made her," he gestured. Lyra stood behind him, awake, eyes glowing. Mind linked to the Vale. Saray stepped forward. "Lyra, listen to me. You're not a weapon. You're you. You don't have to choose his path." The girl's voice echoed double-layered with the Vale's hum. "I see. Everything. All versions of you. All endings. Most of them, you die." Saray smiled gently. "Then let's make one where I don't." Vale's voice thundered. "She's mine. She's the future." "No," Saray said, raising her weapon. "She's hope. And hope doesn't belong to anyone." The battle exploded. Vale attacked blades of light, reality-ripping shockwaves. illusions of dead loved ones clawing at Sarai's mind. But she fought, and more than that, she believed. Rourke joined the fight, wounded but relentless, Pixie overloaded. The ship's systems to cut off Vale's connection to the engine, and Lyra torn between code, and Hart chose. She turned on Vale. "I don't want your perfect world," she said. "I want real life." She grabbed Sarai's hand. "Let's shut it down." Sarai, Lyra, and Rourke reached the core. The Vale engine roared, resisting them, throwing false realities like fire. But Sarai planted her hand on the control nexus and whispered one word. "Enough." And the galaxy blinked. The Vale engine collapsed. Time snapped back into place. Stars steadied. The hollow fold went silent, and Vale was gone. Later, on a quiet moon, Sarai sat watching Lyra play in a field of blue grass. Rourke limped over with 2 cups of something almost like coffee. "You broke the universe, saved a child, and killed a god," he said. "Busy week." She smiled. "I was overdue." He sat beside her. "You think peace lasts this time?" "No," she said. "But hope will."